So colder days are coming and we're gonna wear a lot of turtlenecks, so I wanna show you how to make some lovely pendants for some chunkier jewelry that you can wear on top of your turtlenecks. Or you can make a key hanger out of it, or whatever you prefer. I hope you like them. They're really sweet to make and kids usually really like them. So if you have a little girl in your life, make her happy. Let's see how to do it. Here's a glimpse of what you can use to make this kind of wooden doll pendants. You'll need wooden beads or balls of some sort, large or small depending on your liking. They can be colored or unfinished. We'll also use some acrylic paints or even just paint pens, or acrylic or alcohol markers would work. To assemble everything, you'll need some string, cord or rope. It could be made from leather, cotton or plastic, whatever you have. Even thicker yarn, twine or chain would work. Whatever you like or have on hand. At first, I tried some combinations of beads before I decided on the ones I'll make today. I used unfinished wooden beads that are 2 centimeters in diameter, that's about 3/4 of an inch. I like those because I can easily sketch on them with pencils, which is what I'm doing now. I lightly draw the hairline, dots for the eyes and the line for the mouth. That's all it takes. Then I stir my paints well. Especially if you use old paints or glossy paints, you need to stir them before using. I apply paint onto the heads and the wooden beads for the hair, and also for the wooden beads for the body where needed. Some beads are already colored and don't need my touch. Since I make several of these at once, I painted all the heads and also painted skin colors in some of them. Where the wood texture was too distracting, or where I wanted to paint a geisha and they have white painted faces, as you know. If you want, you can also add blushes with colored pencil, but it's not necessary by any means. If you plan to use pencils, leave the face unpainted because colored pencils won't draw on acrylic paint. Of course, you can also add blushes with acrylic paint on top of acrylic paint. You can play around with haircuts and the size and positioning of the eyes and the mouth. You can draw the faces beforehand or after the beads are already strung onto the cord, but I strongly recommend to paint the hair before, otherwise it can get really messy. Have fun with faces. You can make your dolls wink, add some crazy hairdo with beads of different shapes, or even make your own from polymer clay. I added some freckles onto my red head. Now the easiest necklace to string consists only of 3 beads, a small one for the ponytail, a large one for the face, and another small one for the other ponytail. And you're done. If you want a doll pendant, you can turn the bead so that the whole runs vertically and string a painted bead for the hair bun, a large painted bead for the head, a small bead for the body, and then, if you want, a tiny bead for the foot and knot at the end. Because we want 2 feet, of course, let's measure the length of the cord so it fits our head, and add some more to the length for the knots. Now thread the other end through the same beads and finish the second leg with a tiny bead for the foot and knot at the end. If you have trouble fitting the string into the hole of the bead, you can try to cut the cord at an angle, and if it frays and it's made from plastic, you can melt it a bit with a lighter. If that still doesn't work, sand or even widen the hole of the bead with a scalpel or X-Acto knife. When everything is strung, cut the excess of the cord from the knots and melt the ends so they don't fray. You don't have to do that with the leather cord, but if you use cotton, use a tiny dot of glue instead. Now all we have to do is add 2 more knots, one below the body and one above the hair bun so that the beads won't move. I decided to add some details to her dress. I drew a line for the waist and upper part of the kimono with alcohol marker and added some details, patterns to the dress. Those are painted with acrylic pen. I chose logic symbols because my middle one gets this for her competition in logic. She got a polymer clay necklace for her school competition, but now she goes on the regional and of course she gets another piece. And lastly, I'm showing you how to add blushes with colored pencil. This little doll is made to be a hanger for the keys or the zipper. My eldest was my inspiration for this blue one because that's her color. She's got brown hair and blue eyes. Which one do you like best? I'd really love to know. I also made one that is blonde, but it's not dry yet, so I can't show it to you now. Instead, I can show you this red head because my middle one really loves red. Which one will you make? And how will you decorate it? The sky is the limit, and there are so many possibilities. I hope you have fun. This is a small little project. You'll be done in half an hour with the cleanup. Enjoy your little dolls and see you next week. Bye bye!